Welcome to Make and Take. This week we are exploring rock pools, and today we're joined by wildlife artist Tiffany, who's going to be showing you how to draw moving creatures. Let's find out more about Tiffany and her artwork. Hey Tiffany, can you tell us why you like drawing wildlife?
It's something you can never get bored of. There's always something new when I go outside. Even if I go to the same beach every day, there'll be something new, interesting, and it's just really relaxing and enjoyable for me. And I think other people would love it too, because you just really get to appreciate what's out there. All you need for today is a pencil, a rubber, and a sharpener. Right now I'm drawing the lovely Shani, the fish that we have in our tank. When you're in a rock pool, all the creatures are going to be fast moving or just crawling around, and so when you want to draw them, it's easiest to get them in a nice Tupperware dish, and that means you'll be able to see them. They'll still move, so what I recommend is doing quick sketches. All I am doing right now is currently drawing the outline and the very basic shapes of the Shani. So the Shani has a very oval shaped body, so I'm just drawing that in, and then you look at its fins and you think fins, I've got some triangles, so it's got very big spiky top fin here, and then a more like slanted rectangular fin here. And you don't have to add the detail yet, you always add the detail later. What you really want to do is just make sure you're getting all the basic shapes in of our lovely Shani. Then as you get the outlines, you can start adding some of the more smaller shapes. So there's smaller fins, and then it's like mouth, you get that in. Its eyes as well. Always just work very big, and then you get smaller and smaller, and then add more and more detail. And you can always use a rubber as well to just go back, rub the basic shapes out as you get more of the detailed shape, the accurate shape of the Shani. There's no mistakes here, but you can always just change it if you want to. Shanis are able to change their colour with special cells in their skin. The fancy name for it is chromatophores, and this means they can change their colour to suit the environment. So if a Shani is hiding in a very seaweedy rock pool, they'll probably turn a very dark greeny, browny red to hide amongst the seaweed. But if they're amongst some light stones, then they can be a lot lighter, almost white even, to hide amongst of them. Another fun fact about Shanis is actually they don't need much water to survive. You can find them underneath like the dry rocks that have been left out by the tide, and as long as they're moist, they can actually stay underneath those rocks with no need to dive into any of the rock pools. Once you've got your basic shapes drawn, all of the body, the fins, the tail, and some of the more smaller bits here, we can work into the eye, make sure we have the mouth. This special bit here is part of the gills. It's a special bony plate that protects the gills of the Shani. And then what we like to look for is, what does the Shani look like? Does it have spots, stripes, a bit of both? And with our Shani, it has lots of stripes, so it has dark and light patches. And what we can do is just fill those in by shading. If you don't want to shade straight away, you can always draw in the stripes first and then colour them in. But it's all about looking for patterns, so every creature is different, so some Shanis might not have these stripes. Some of them might be very dark or very light and speckled. So it's all about looking for all the different details. This technique that I'm doing right now is known as stippling. So all I'm doing is just doing lots of dots together to build up a texture, kind of scaly, dotty freckle texture. So if the fish you're drawing has scales, which all of them do, then this is a perfect technique. You can do dots like this or more very small strokes just to build up a nice texture on the fish. Make your drawing a lot more interesting, and also it helps get the patterns in. So the chamois here will have some freckles, some dots away from the stripes. Not as dark as the stripes, so you don't want to do it too densely, but you just add some dots here and there, and then it really builds up your drawing. Now I've got most of the details down and we're almost done with our drawing. You may notice that you still have some of your outlines left from your very beginning basic shapes, and if you don't want them there, you can just go around gently with the rubber, use the corner because it's a smaller part, and just gently go around and get rid of any bits that you don't want, and then you're left with your final detailed shape of your chamois. You can always dust off if your rubber leaves any flakes.
That's amazing! Do you have any more top tips?
The drawings don't have to be perfect at all, they're just meant to be quick outlines so you can get the general shape of the creature or animal you're drawing. So here there's very rough lines, not very detailed, very just quick mark making, so it doesn't have to be perfect at all. If you can't capture all the drawing, don't worry. You can, if you know what the creature is, you can search up online, but also it'd be brilliant if you could take photos of the creatures you have found, so then you know you found the correct one and you can look back at it later and carry on the sketch or do a painting when you're back home, so you don't have to worry about that. I take notes because I like to do field sketches. I also like to know the anatomy of the fish or the creature I'm drawing. Also, it helps me when I'm painting later. And you can make notes as well of maybe the colours if you want to colour them later. And then I always recommend taking plenty and plenty of photos. So if you want to do some paintings later or use colour in your later pieces of art, then you can do that as well.
Thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow when we'll be searching the rock pools for more things to draw.